game time. Lock in. Welcome to the show. This is the Game HQ podcast. Let it go. Hey.
Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Game HQ podcast. This is Alejandro coming at you live with episode 2. Here with me today, we have Yarick and Alex. Cody and Eric are unfortunately not here today due to some personal reasons. They should be back hopefully as soon as possible. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's going on, East Coasters? How we doing?
We're all right. I'm the only West Coaster today, boys. So this episode is going to be just a joint discussion. We're all going to be talking about the topics that we're going to be touching upon in every sport that we can, talk about. As of right now, we are all currently watching the Pittsburgh Pirates and New York Mets playing. So if you hear me not speak, I am watching the game. But obviously, first off, we're always going to start with the NBA. NBA is on the precipice of, the playoffs. A lot of interesting things coming with the NBA. I know since episode 1, a lot has transpired. We have a lot to talk about. I obviously want to jump in with the Bam Adebayo stuff.
Yeah, we definitely got to talk about that.
To break a record, and not just a record, but Kobe Bryant's record, it just, while I have my gripes about it because of just the style of play toward the end of the last, quarter, he still did break a record. He now is the second most points in NBA history with 83. I actually found out some backstory. We'll talk more about it, in a little bit. But I just want to get your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about all this?
Bam Adebayo. What a name.
What a name.
Not honestly the guy I thought would be the second most scoring person in history. But kudos to him. The Q1 definitely set it off. Like quarter 1, 31 points. He actually outscored the entire Wizards team 31-29 in Q1. That's kind of like when they put everyone on the radar, like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a good game, but I didn't realize how good this game was gonna end up being. Comes in at 43 points at the half. Not putting out too many sirens, right? We got a good game brewing at the half, but comes out firing in Q3 with 19 more points, and then now all of a sudden, getting notifications on my phone, bam, at 72, and then now we got to tune in for it. A little bit of some interesting play there at the end for sure. For those that were watching what was going on, he was getting triple teamed, maybe doing a little bit of some acting here and there.
Jesus Christ.
He had 36 of 43 free throw attempts, which is actually also another record. He set an NBA record for free throws, 36 made and attempted 43.
Mind you, this is a guy who averages 4.2 free throws a game. Right. Attempts.
He was definitely chucking also, right? 20 of 43 from the field, 7 of 22 from 3. But at the end of the day, kudos to him. 83 points. It's quite a feat for sure.
We could nitpick, but it's still a crazy accomplishment. And as a player, your teammates helping you do it too. It's I feel like it's gotta feel good. Like your teammates were backing you up because, like we said, it's Bam Adebayo. We didn't think he'd do that.
Yeah, you couldn't tell me 5 years ago that Bam was gonna break it.
And there's been players that have been able to do it, but then don't. Coaches to my recent memory, Kyrie against Orlando. He got 60 points, and it was the third quarter, and you pull him. He could have easily broken that record. Who knows what he would have done? And that's a name that you would be like, all right, it's Kyrie Irving.
It's Kyrie Irving.
We could not saying that whatever name you have, you can't expect anybody to have over 80 points. But that's the quality of player you think would do that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's also in that 1 week. I don't know if it was that 1 week span where Joel Embiid and Devin Booker both got 70, and it was just like, okay, those are franchise players, And even though yes, Bam is a franchise player for the Miami Heat currently. He is not, as of right now, he's not in that upper tier echelons of, great Heat players. He might be after this record, but leading up to that game, no one's really putting him in the top 5 or even the top 10 in Miami Heat history. And even though the Miami Heat is labeled as an expansion team, obviously we'll talk about the big news with expansion teams a little bit later. But since the Miami Heat's inception, there's only the fact that a lot of great players have gone through that program, and under Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra. I mean, kudos to Eric Spoelstra. You now have three players that have done great things for you in your I think 22-year or 23-year coaching of the Heat, which is insane. But listen, my gripe obviously is the style of play at the end in the last quarter. The intentional fouling. Obviously everyone has their gripes, just like everyone had their gripes with the Will Chamberlain game. Obviously, there's no actual video evidence of Will Chamberlain scoring 100, so that begs the question of, did he really score 100 points?
There was resources for it at the time. So.
Yeah, and there was absolutely
not great. But...
I mean, they have radio, and radio was the one that obviously was the big factor in confirming that he got the 100. But a lot of people would complain the same thing about Will Chamberlain. Shooting shots purposefully just so he can get his own rebounds and stuff like that. So while I can understand the same gripes that people would have about Will Chamberlain's game, me as a lover of basketball and lover of the game, it's like, come on, guys. Like, you guys are professionals. Like, why are we shot checking? Like, granted, if you take the person on the bench at the end of the bench and put them anywhere, they're going to be the greatest player you put that you see against non-professionals. But you guys all play in the National Basketball Association. You guys should be actually trying.
Yeah, sure.
Which leads into the whole tanking situation, but that's whatever.
I'm just happy that he's from Jersey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, that's a win for us.
The
record stays in Jersey.
Jersey boy, the record does stay in Jersey, and Newark too. Yeah. A lot of good players came out of Newark.
Yeah, he's got this thing's got a lot of accolades too. It's kind of funny to read through the accolades of Bam's game. Like, he's the first player in NBA history to make 25 free throws and 5 3-pointers in a game. Like, these are the type of games where you just start finding all these different accolades that he pours in. The last person that scored anything of this caliber was LeBron James, wrote 61 against what they used to call the Charlotte Bobcats. So that's how long ago that was.
God. Damn.
Right. So.
Oh my God, the Bobcats.
Terrible uniforms. It's a great game. You can't knock him for it.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Obviously,
I don't knock him.
There's people that will say the last quarter was not necessary. Shout out Eric Spoelstra, let the guy play. Yeah, you get yourself a bucket.
Yeah, now I give Eric Spoelstra the credit for that, because obviously when you have star players at that mark of 70 or even 60, most coaches take their players out, just to rest them and let everybody else get in. But Eric Spoelstra saw this as an opportunity to be like, hey, maybe he could break it.
I love that. Why take that away from him?
That's true. Listen, I may not have liked the entirety of the fourth quarter, but the facts are the facts. Bam Adebayo is the second.
Yeah.
Most highest points in that.
And you know what? How the Wizards played, that's on them. He doesn't control that. Yeah.
That's true. He can't.
You just play your opponent. That's it. And how they show up is just on them.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, obviously, so kudos to Bam. Obviously, we're gonna come around to that conversation of Bam because, there's an interesting, vote that just happened with the NBA Board of Governors that puts Bam in a very interesting situation because, certain significant other of his plays in one of those new expansion places.
That would make sense, and that would be awesome to see.
It would be great. We'll get there in a moment, though. So obviously Tyrese Maxey is still out with that finger injury that happened about 3 weeks ago.
Oh no, for Philly.
I mean, yeah, no, oh no for Philly.
What a shame.
Oh, what a shame for Philly. Even though Philly is still technically in the run for the playoffs. So they're currently in the play-in at the moment. They're currently the 7th seed, sitting at 40-33. Won their last game, however, in the past 10 games they're 6-4. So you can kind of say that they're dealing with what's happening with the loss of Tyrese Maxey, but at the end of the day, Tyrese Maxey is technically your cornerstone outside of Joel Embiid.
One positive thing for the 76ers, though, is as much as I can say positive things about a Philly team. They do have Paul George back now, so he had a suspension for enhancements, as one would say.
Yeah.
So he's back there. He actually had a really good game, 28 points, I think it was, just on that game. So they have the pieces. It's just a matter of getting Maxey back. But with him being out probably until the play-in, the Heat is right there. They're a game apart from each other. A game apart from each other. So it could shake up where they stand here. The Hornets, Magic, everyone's pretty close there in the play. And so, like, having not a star player heading into an area where you need to win, basically.
Especially if you want to stay
solidify,
in the playoffs,
right?
Especially in the play.
It should be interesting. It'd be such a shame if it really just magically falls out there.
Yeah, listen, I mean, you have the Hornets that are on a 4-game win streak.
Dude, I love the Hornets. I love the way the Hornets are playing this year.
Listen, I was very on and off with LaMelo Ball's play and his attitude toward the game, but if you really think about it, like you can't really blame him since he came into the league. He's had 3 coach changes.
Yeah.
And there's been no coach up until the one that he's currently coaching him that is just do your thing, man, at this point. Because everyone's been trying to change his game, and you can't change a game like that.
He's like the epitome of a kid just having fun with the game.
Yeah.
Like, he's just out there just playing, and they're playing well, and it's good for them. Brandon Miller.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's definitely stepped up even further for them this year.
And obviously Concanapple.
Yeah.
In my opinion, number 2 of
right there. So exciting things for the Hornets for sure after a franchise that just has not really done well, right? You're getting a good one going this year. So
absolutely.
They're currently matched up with the Magic. They're about the same record, 38-34. So,
but mind you, while the Hornets are on a 4-game win streak, the Magic are on a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like
the Magic is a really interesting. Yeah, Magic is a really interesting thing this year, right? Paolo with an injury, a couple issues throughout the year. Really hasn't been the dog that we saw as in last year. So
also the number 1 pick.
Right.
Your former number 1 pick.
Yeah.
It's almost like the number 1 picks now is kind of like it's either a hit or miss. It's either going to do incredibly well or they're just going to be mediocre.
They are a nuisance of a team, so right. Like,
of course,
still
absolutely.
be a very nuisance of a team, especially as for the Knicks. For some reason, the Knicks struggle with the Magic.
I don't want to play the Magic in the play.
I mean, it's just one of those teams that's they just don't go away easily. Like, they have unfortunately, the record it's not bad, right? 38-34 is not terrible, but more so a nuisance of a team just does not want to be put away most games.
You're also in an easier conference.
Okay, I mean, are we saying the East is easier?
At this point right now, I'm talking about with everybody roughly having the same type of record, because most of those records are like if you're talking about in conference, like Orlando is 24-23, Charlotte's 22-22, and then basically from everybody up in regards to the play-in, Philadelphia is 23-23, and then the Heat are 23-20. So it's kind of like
just in the conference.
Yeah, in the conference. I'm talking just conference. Yeah. Like basically everything. Whenever they play each other, that's their record. So they're almost losing as much as they are winning. So it's
I think it's very though. It's kind of like a race, because the pressure's on, and you slip up a little bit. Like, you can't have a dip in form. If you have a dip in form, you're dropping to a lower seed, and you don't want that. So
now I know, while in the grand scheme of things, that looks like they're the harder one because a lot more teams are a lot more equal.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't say hard. I would say it's more competitive in the West. Okay, I think I can make an argument, which I'm going to right now. You're gonna make an argument that the East is more competitive. Like, if you're looking at just like how the records look, everything's very close from the 5th seed all the way down to the 10th seed. It's only separating themselves by 2 games. Right, anything can change in the next 2 weeks. Where this whole seeding for the East is just.
Well, remember last episode we were talking about Boston, and they were getting Jason Tatum back, and they were, I think, at that time 5th. Now they're 2nd. So enough games have transpired where it's kind of like
it's a close one too. The 2nd and 3rd seed, the Celtics at 2nd, Knicks at the 3rd. It's only
half a game,
literally.
Right.
I mean, obviously. So while we're talking about the Eastern Conference now, like obviously, if we move over to the Western Conference, like there are a lot of things that, in my opinion, are really special with what's happening in the West. Obviously, another record was broken that was held by Will Chamberlain. SGA breaking Will Chamberlain's record of 126 games with 20 plus points. Now it may not be one of the the bigger records to break. However, that's a huge record anyway. I think Wilt holds like 55 plus records in the NBA, and just breaking one is just insane. Like, obviously you have LeBron breaking the all-time scoring record. You have even breaking into the top 10 in scoring is a big deal because you have to play for a long period of time, unless you're like lightning in a bottle and you're just scoring on all cylinders. But I think SGA, in my opinion, breaking this type of record just shows how smart Sam Presti is with acquiring him in the trade for Paul George, and then how dumb the Clippers were for letting him go.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, damn.
It's a poorly run organization.
Yeah,
For so long.
There's so many poorly run organizations, man. I mean, listen, no offense. Look at Charlotte.
Yeah.
You were owned by arguably the greatest player of all time. Just because he's the greatest player of all time doesn't mean he's the greatest GM of all time. It just doesn't work like that. But, I mean, I think SGA's status in the league may have just been elevated a little bit, not like significant to where we're just like.
It shows his consistency.
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
he's
absolutely.
one of the most consistent players in the league.
Yeah,
I mean, this is what we expect from SGA, though. Like, this is what he needs to do. As an MVP candidate this year too. Again, like this is what you expect from a guy like this. Right, like you're saying, there's a lot of special things happening in the West too. Like right behind him, the Spurs, right, not that far behind, starting to catch heat. Right,
the epitome of
winner of 7 straight right now, 9-1 the last 10.
Victor Wembanyama,
dude, it's
Wembanyama, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, like that whole
Gary
system
Fox,
is
like they have a great team and they're catching fire at a great time right now.
Listen, their whole system is great, and it's not like, and it just shows the impact Greg Popovich has had on the entire system, because Mitch Johnson came into this team and everyone was just like, oh, how is he going to do? Fantastic. If you really think about it, he basically took Pop's ideology and was just like, let me just not mess with it.
And why fix
most coaches do that, right? Like for example, New York, I think, outside of 2 other teams, the Lakers and probably maybe I wouldn't even say Golden State, but maybe Sacramento, have so many different personalities from their head coaches that it's like there's no true culture that's being created.
Yeah.
Like we're not like we're talking about like the 90s when Phil Jackson was, heading up the Lakers and heading up the Bulls, and they created that culture. And like when you have all these teams like Mitch Johnson, my hat's off to you. You did not mess with the ideology and the culture of the San Antonio Spurs. And no offense, even if I think you tried, I don't think it would work.
Yeah.
The Spurs are so, like, they have Greg Popovich like so deeply enthralled in that whole organization from top to bottom that it just shows but also you were an assistant coach to him. You watched him up close and personal.
Yeah.
So you are the guy that was meant for this job. I don't think anybody else could have stepped into this job and done this well with this type of roster.
It also probably comes down to management too. Like the GMs are probably telling him like, this is how we're gonna play this, and you can't do this, or we're gonna find somebody who does follow along. And if it's working, then you can argue it.
But that includes Pop. Pop moved into the front office because he's just like, obviously he's a lot older. He had that health scare that, thank God he's okay. Yeah. But it's like, damn, man, like you look at this team and it's like number 2 in the West. You have them clinching the Southwest Division for the first time since 2016, which is insane, by the way. Like you're talking about the year that the Miracle Cavs beat the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. That was the last time that the Spurs won the Southwest Division.
Time isn't real, man.
It's not. And it's like you want your 1-7 game straight, like Alex mentioned, and it's like where do you go from here?
2016 was a different time.
Absolutely. Yeah. But now it's just like I think this is the come up. This is the time of the young teams.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think, and this is just me talking, and I'm crazy and not like I'm outrageous when it comes to certain things like that. Obviously, I know we're talking about basketball, but we just saw, the first ABS challenge.
I was going to say that was the first one of the season, right?
No, the first one of the season was yesterday with the Yankees.
There was one yesterday?
Yankees called the first one. I don't know, but I think it was Cabellos who had the first one that was used.
Shame on the MLB for scheduling the first game of St. Thomas Survivor. I had to watch it on my phone.
We'll obviously talk about that part when it comes to the MLB, but had to break that news in.
Yeah. I think you guys hit the points. Like this is an exciting time for like teams like OKC and Spurs. One thing I want to note though, like when we go back to looking at the conference, like there's a decent gap between the 1-2 in the West. Right?
Oh yeah,
the 3 is 10 games back of OKC.
Absolutely.
But now you look at who it really is, right? Los Angeles Lakers, Denver, Minnesota, and Houston, right in the mix there. With the Lakers,
they're turning it up at the right time.
Dude,
they're turning it up at the right time, man.
Listen, I don't want to put nobody's business out there, but ever since Luka had that familial issue, in the past 10 games, the man's averaging 40 points.
Child custody Luka is a different man.
That's what we're calling him.
Child custody Luka
is crazy.
But listen, he's the first player to score 40 points in 6 consecutive games, all on the road, since Michael Jordan in 1986.
Wow, in a custody battle.
In a custody battle. MJ had one. He was thinking about it.
Maybe one gambling issue.
Maybe one. Maybe one.
Yeah, one never hurt.
Yeah.
Well, of course. By the time he hit 1993, that was a whole different story. But that's different. We don't want to talk about it. We're not a conspiracy podcast.
No, we're not.
But that the Lakers are another team. We were last episode. We were just like, man, I don't even think the Lakers are gonna. I don't think this is gonna work.
It's crazy because when we last spoke, we said like nothing of this is gonna matter when like the playoffs come, and we're not even there yet. But it's already like
we've got like a 180 almost.
Exactly. Wow, it's like all open now. Like do you have a favorite? Because I don't anymore. Like I think these playoffs are gonna be like one of the most exciting in a while. To be honest, just because it's so.
I agree.
Back to what you were saying about the Magic, like how they're like a pesty team. Can you imagine in a one game?
That's what I'm saying.
Or you're
like
gone.
Elimination style, like we're talking like March Madness. Obviously, we're gonna talk about that later. But like a March Madness style, I don't want to play Orlando.
No, yeah.
Like you're not gonna convince me that I'm gonna want to play Orlando. Yeah. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like if we bounce back to the East here, I want to highlight. I'm always gonna highlight the Knicks. So shout out the Knicks. But they've won 7 straight now, right? So something is starting to click. And when you look at how the games are played, right? Like it's not how it used to be last year, where Brunson is the main guy and he's going hard and he's taking all these shots. Like he's definitely taken a step back. He's like at least 10 to 15 games where if he's not shooting well, like he's not trying to put shots up, right? Like we're getting more out of the bench, we're getting more out of the people we need. Mikal Bridges is still putting up some stinkers, right? But like maybe he's just in a funk. But we got OG starting to step up, right? Shaman has been great for the Knicks, right? Diawara, right? A name that's not a household name whatsoever, right? Just out there shooting, great perimeter shooter. So like it's as a Knicks fan, right? It's great. A little biased there, but it's great to see like we're on a good run here also towards the end. Like it's just a matter of putting some more pieces together and keeping that momentum as a team, right?
I also think that it kind of attributes to Jalen Brunson because obviously he wants to get paid in his first next big contract, but I'm not saying that his contract is what's affecting him, like kind of taking a minor step back. I think what it is too is that I think he wants to try to create, like right now, like you're with your head coach being Mike Brown, someone who has always been known, not always, but for a good portion of his coaching career, known as a defensive coach. And then now has over the years kind of like transitioned his coaching style into like a hybrid, but leaning more toward offense now. Having him not have his team be so top heavy when it comes to scoring, because you know what happens when you go into the playoffs. You're gonna lower the rotation. The rotation is gonna be smaller. You're gonna probably bring that down maybe from 11 guys in the regular season to maybe like 9 or 8, depending on how everything goes. Obviously, you're gonna put your vets out there. Unless you're gonna, sorry about that, guys. That's my alarm to get ready for something else later. We'll talk about. But you're gonna in playoff time you put your veterans in, unless you have like a true standout rookie or someone who's young that's like doing like amazing things. But I like how the Knicks have done this like well-roundedness of like trying to keep the entire team in. I think adding Jeremy Sochan was a great pickup. I think trading for Jose Alvarado was a great deal.
Dude, that is like I'm absolutely in love with the fact that we have Alvarado. Like
Dude,
this guy,
GT Alvarado.
Yeah, like I loved him when he first started. Like this is just his continued ability to like sneak up on a defense and just like get himself integrated like on both ends, right? Like he's not just that like kind of that pest on defense. Like he puts up great shots. Like he's a decent perimeter shooter. He gets the shots up. And he like kind of disguises himself. Like you're not expecting someone like that to be in the corner just banging threes all night long. So
well, that's why he's one of those players that you always have to keep an eye on because Look at he's already proven time and time again that he will be a steal merchant if you don't keep your eyes on him. And it's like, I think that the Knicks have done a much better job with making their focal point of their offense a team collective rather than just superstar heavy.
And that's why I said last year that they learned a lot. And one of the things they learned a lot was that come playoffs, you can't be that team where like coaches are like telling their players like this is what you need to look out for. This is your assignment, and that's going to be your main goal. This year, you can't do that. You can't just focus on Jalen Brunson because, like you said, you have players come off the bench that can take shots too. So, Knicks are a team that in the playoffs you can prepare as much as you want, but you have no idea what you're getting.
Exactly.
And like, I'll touch one more thing, just so I'm not talking about my team the entire time, but like the Knicks don't go away easily. Like we'll have games that are horrible, right? Like what are we doing type things, but like they would just find a way to get themselves back into the game. It's a very tough team to put away. Like there's definitely tough teams across the board to put away. But when you go up against the Knicks and you're gonna have to play them in a possible all 7-game series, right? Like it's not an easy team to put away for sure.
Especially when MSG too, like
exactly. I was just about to say that. Like you're playing in Madison Square Garden, you're playing in the mecca of basketball.
So loud in there and like so energetic and
the ground shakes.
It's a tough team to put away, regardless.
Like I don't think people understand that if you've never been to MSG, when you're going to a Knicks game, even if it's just a regular season game, when it's a game that's highly anticipated, or even when you're in the playoffs, because I've been there, and it's like the ground shakes.
That's great.
Like that's insane. Like that's intimidating to the people on the floor. Like to the stands.
It's meant to break people.
It's meant to break you. And that's why it's labeled as, like I just said a couple seconds ago, like it's the mecca of basketball when it comes to locations. Like obviously Chase Arena, Oracle Arena for the Golden State Warriors before the move, but it's like that. Like you couldn't even hear yourself think when you were in that arena. But it's just touching upon it too. Like that's why to give the Knicks their flowers. I think Mike Brown has done a great job, and And
so
not a lot of people like
that. I thought that was get higher. Right? Once it was announced, I thought it was get higher.
So I think with that being said, like if we look at this playoff picture, right? Like we're looking at it as say it ends today, right? Obviously the Pistons are still at the top. The gap between 1, 2, and 3 is much shorter now, right? Only 4 games between the Celtics and the Pistons, and 4.5 between the Knicks and the Pistons. And obviously half game between 2 and 3, right? So a lot of things can change. The number 4 seed, right? The Cavs. Right, not a lot of attention on the Cavs, not a lot of talk happening
because of all the injuries.
But they're kind of hunkering down there at the 4. So right now, like obviously the Pistons will play the 8th seed coming out. The Knicks are right now supposedly playing the Raptors. And as a fan, I'm loving that.
That's great. I'm actually going to that game, like the regular season one. So
that's a great matchup. But like again, anything can change here. Obviously, Celtics are playing the 7th seed. But this little matchup here, if this ends today, the Cavs and the Hawks, right? I want to talk a little bit about Cavs and the Hawks here. Like the Cavs, obviously adding James Harden is a big piece for them, right? If they can get healthy, it's a scary team also. But the Hawks, right? They get rid of Trae Young, right? But they add Kuminga, which I just don't understand why the Warriors did this. I don't like it at all. Like he's injured a lot for the beginning of the season, and then all of a sudden now we're like, all right, we're done with him, right? Goes to Atlanta, and now he's balling out.
Yeah, but they've been done with him for almost a year and a half now.
Yeah, but like I've seen, there's teams out there that got players that are for like 4 or 5 years, and they're hot garbage still. Like, this guy was not that. Like Kuminga is a good player. Like
when he balled out, he balled out.
Right, he's a good player.
But I think that also attributes to Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, I don't think is a younger player coach. I don't think he really has much faith in these young players. I mean, obviously now he has to, which is basically his entire starting 5 is out. I mean, with Curry supposed to be coming back soon, Jimmy's out for the year. Porzingis has been on and off the court. You understand that they're like.
We should, when we get to the Western, we can talk about the Warriors. Like they're on very very thin ice.
Oh yeah, they are absolutely. It's insane.
But the East is very competitive right now. Anything can really change. Like it's really close. So I don't know. I'm excited. I love when we get to this time of the year where like it's okay. Hunker down. Like it's time for the playoffs.
This is it.
Now you're really
sit
fighting
in your place
for like a home court advantage type aspect.
I do think if like what you were saying, if the NBA was to if the playoffs were to start right now, I think that the Cavs and the Hawks are going to be one of the best series that we watch.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna love to watch. I would
I-
love to watch that.
I
Those
also
teams
think
battle it out.
that if Miami loses and loses to Orlando, I think the Pistons and Orlando series is going to be nice, especially with the fact that Cade's out.
Yeah,
If that's the main factor there.
If
yeah,
that plays,
yeah. I'm really glad you mentioned that.
you know, very very sad to hear that a young guy, has experienced a collapsed lung.
Yeah.
They're saying 4 to 6 weeks, but with a situation like that, obviously with conditioning involved, you have to understand that he's going to be out a lot longer than that. Now, unless he's attacking therapy incredibly hard, which he's young.
I don't think you want to do that with a lung, though.
I don't think so either. But I mean, if we hurt, listen,
I think there's no rush, right? Like
there's no rush.
You're
still sitting at the top of
seed,
these
4 games, whatever, 10 games left here, right? Rest. Right, Duran has done a lot so far with the couple games that he's been like their guy. He's a beast, right? Like he's a double beast. He can hold him out. I think you wait, right? Like you just wait. You make sure your star player, your floor general, that clearly is the reason why this team is where it's at right
Absolutely.
now. It's Cade Cunningham. So like
this is your cornerstone. This is your cornerstone player. You can't mess up with this.
Yeah, because you ruin your whole project, and your project's in a good place right now. This is the first time that they're like, this is the first time you're seeing like, okay, the process is working. Like, keep working towards it. If you rush
over 20 years, this is an over 20-year development, and now you guys are in the perfect place. Now, granted, we've seen a lot of first place teams go down, but this team has done really, really well with how they've been playing in the past couple of weeks. And it's just that, like, Cade, if I'm you, man, just
take it easy.
Yeah. Take your time.
Your time's coming.
Come back.
Yeah.
Bro, like, you're going to play the 8th seed. You're not going to play the 8th seed until at least in a week later.
So he might be ready. Who knows? He might be ready.
He may be ready. But still.
The Pistons organization, they're optimistic that he'll be back in time for the playoffs, but it's not confirmed. So there's a chance that he doesn't actually come back as at least as a full force at that first round. So like that's
if I'm you, don't come game 1. Yeah. Don't come game 2.
I don't know though. But like game 1, game 2, you're at home. Like these home games matter a lot.
Yeah, but it also depends on who you're playing. Like we could be talking about right now. Let's say Philly beats Miami. So now Philly's the 7th seed. Don't have to worry about Philly. You're all good there. And then let's say,
wait, are you though?
Yeah,
you're good. You're good there
because Maxi's going to be back then.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Detroit, you don't have to worry about them into the Eastern Conference Finals.
I think if I'm Detroit, I'm thinking long term, and I know it's risky, but you just got to see how the first 2 games play out in the playoffs, and then
you would have to worry about them because like if 9 and 10 played the 7 and 8, so say hypothetically, right? We're saying 76ers versus the Magic, right, or whatever.
No, I'm saying if Philly wins, if Philly beats Miami, you don't have to worry about Philly into the Eastern Conference Finals. But if Philly loses and then if Philly loses and then beats Orlando, which again, still don't want to play Orlando in a playing game. If Philly, then you're playing against Philadelphia. Now you have Duran going against Embiid with Maxey coming back. So now at that point, if you're Detroit, what do you do?
Yeah, I think we go back on saying that then. Like I'm much more worried if I'm Detroit to play Philly than anything else. Like,
right?
Well, that's why you hope Philly wins that game.
Yes, right?
Because then that becomes a Boston
Philly, I'm
problem.
worried about either way. Like I can't either got to play the number 1 Pistons or I got to go play like a team like.
But I also think that if you're the Pistons, if you're the 76ers, I want to play the Pistons because Cade's not there.
A lot of variability there.
Yeah. Absolutely, but still, with your cornerstone coming back by that point already, with Maxey already coming back.
Yeah, but I know it's a finger injury, but like he's might come back on time for the playoffs. Who knows if his shot gets affected by that? You know?
But it's not on his shooting hand.
Oh, it's not.
It's not
right?
on his shooting hand.
Double check. It's
not on his shooting hand.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man, yeah.
He can be like Kobe, tape both
100%,
two fingers together, and after he jammed his finger up, and that's it.
But
I guess it all.
Maxi's out. Basically the rest of the season.
Yeah,
like they might just
gonna shut. If they're smart, they shut him down.
They're gonna reevaluate April. That's what they said.
Okay,
that's what I read. At least.
If anything, then they shut him down until to see what the playoffs look like. So that's just the Eastern Conference. Obviously, we're not going to talk about Giannis because Giannis is also hurt.
Well, but I think we should briefly talk about Giannis.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, Giannis is gone.
Yeah. Did you see that they wanted to shut him down?
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, he's like not happy.
Yeah. So like that, you can see the turmoil in how he like.
There's no correlation.
I just don't get what they're doing. I don't know why they didn't just.
They're trying to milk the cow for as much as they can, but not understanding that he's still going to leave.
Yeah.
Is he out after this season, or does he have one more? He's out after the season, right? Like he's a free agent.
I think he's a free agent. I think he leads the free agent class.
If you let Giannis leave and you didn't
for nothing, you should have just traded him.
That would be very bad.
You should have just traded him.
Yeah, it's next season. Yeah, and then he has a player option. Yeah,
for this season, he has a player. He has a player option.
Locked in.
That says through the 26-27 season, and then the player option for 27-28.
Okay, so
they can still trade him next year.
So he could hold out.
Wait, so
he could hold out.
He'll get a crap ton of fines, but he can hold out. That'll be insane if he does that.
This contract is crazy though. He's being if he does do the player option for some reason, he'll get $62 million.
I mean, it's insane. He's just the amount of money. This is nowhere near MLB money, but it's getting up there.
Yeah,
it's getting up there slowly but surely. I mean, nothing is going to touch soccer money, but
Europe at least.
Sorry, Europe money, but not even Saudi Arabia money. It's not even,
that's
a different strategy.
Oil money is different money.
There's no taxes on that.
That's oil money, baby. That's oil money.
Different.
But I think Giannis, no matter what happens this year, even if he doesn't have
I would agree with you.
I think
we're not supposed to agree with
either,
but I agree.
But it's all right. No, listen. There's only one or two things that can happen. He's gonna ask for the trade as soon as the season ends. He's gonna be like, I want to be gone. Mm-hmm. Like when free agency starts, trade me.
I think we're at that.
Or
I think we're there.
I think he
should have been this year. I thought I should have been this year.
I think he's there. I mean, he has definitely been there for at least half the year. He's already been there. I think he tells Milwaukee, listen, clearly this is not working. Yes, I won a championship in 2021 for you guys. Yeah. But since then, you have not done right by me.
Sure.
And obviously, any player that can go to their front office and say, you have not done right by me, has to go and thank LeBron James, because LeBron James was the first person to do that. Completely beside the point. The reason why I mention it is because Giannis is a generational talent. 100%. So you're not going to sit there and tell me that a 7-footer is moving like a gazelle down the lane. Like, it's not happening. You're not going to sit there and tell me that.
And there's so many teams you could go to that he'll fit. He'll turn into like a contender right away.
Put him on any other team.
Imagine on the Knicks. Oh my God!
Stop that right now.
You stopped it. Well, they would have to. They would have to.
I have like a group chat with my friends. Shout out the hometown homies. Like we talk about this all the time. Like there was a point where I was like, oh, I'm so on board for Giannis to go to the Knicks, but like the overhaul.
Yeah. What you give up? What you give up?
Yeah. Nuts.
We just built this team, and like I eventually was like, yeah, you know what?
So I'm gonna say this right now. If he gets traded, when he gets traded, it's gonna be either the Minnesota Timberwolves or it's gonna be the Miami. And we're talking like neither team has to give up much. I mean, obviously, Rudy Gobert is out.
What about OKC, bro? Imagine like, LKC has.
I mean, Sam Presti would give up.
You want to get greedy. You want to be greedy. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like
it has the pieces.
But
it's just a crazy.
But Sam Presti is Sam Presti for a reason. He's not going to mess up that court. He's not dumb.
But also the question is, what are the Bucks trying to do? Are they trying to like turn into a team that's going to be able to compete right now? Or
it doesn't matter. Giannis is leaving.
No, I know that. But like,
honestly, you're going to want to get like some first round.
That's what I'm about to say.
You're going to have to get first. Well, once you lose Giannis, you're going to get the number one.
Who has the most draft capital right now in the NBA?
The Thunder.
Yeah,
they still have 17 first-round picks between now and 2032.
That's insane.
For the next 6 years, Oklahoma City will have roughly between the potential number one overall pick in 2029 and 2030, and then anywhere between the lottery.
I'd give up a couple of picks and a player. If you don't have to give up most of your depth, why not? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it all depends at that point, because it's like, what do you really do? Like, it's Giannis is we know he's leaving. We know he's leaving. Now it's just all about where he goes and
I think like
the impact.
and I think we're hitting it on the nail. Like he's leaving, and I think that's a lot of the decision making this front office
Absolutely.
has to make, and that's why they're not rushing it, right? Like you're letting your best player, your generational player go. Right?
Yeah.
We're parting ways with you. You're automatically ready to rebuild.
Well, no
Like, you're
offense,
not
this is not the
going
first time
anywhere.
Milwaukee has done that either. They did the same thing with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So this is not, history is definitely repeating itself.
You are definitely in a rebuild, so like you're not hitting playoff time. Like it's so I understand. Like from now, if I'm looking at it, I understand that we need pieces back. We need a lot of pieces back because we're in rebuild at least the next 2-3 years easily.
You need to take on two. Also, you have to get. If I'm Milwaukee, I'm asking for 3 first-round picks, 4 second-round picks, and 2 bona fide All-Stars.
I think you're going further. I mean, hell, like the Knicks gave up 5 first rounders for Mikal Bridges.
Like,
if you're looking at that, you're like, you know what? That's what I can get for that guy.
That's true. And Rudy Gobert went to Minnesota for like.
We're looking at these other crazy trades with these picks everywhere.
But it depends on
trying to get everything.
But the thing is, unless it's the Oklahoma City Thunder, who has that much draft capital?
Exactly. That's why it's scary.
That's what I'm saying. It depends. It depends. You're banking on Milwaukee's banking on one team saying, you know what, we will give up our future to get Giannis, and it's just it all depends on how that goes.
Yeah,
like
it should be interesting to see.
Now, obviously, we'll jump into the other side of the bracket when it comes to the NBA, obviously with the Western Conference, but this is where it makes interesting sense, right? I think he goes to Minnesota. If Minnesota changes conferences in the next 2-3 years,
who knows?
Giannis still stays in the Eastern Conference, and Milwaukee now gets in trouble because that's what. This is the segue. This is the segue that we wanted to talk about the most. The NBA Board of Governors have just approved the vote to discuss bids on the 2 new expansion teams that are going to be obviously allocated to Seattle and Las Vegas. They're now accepting bids for people who want to own these 2 teams. Yeah. Locations have already been set.
Conference is set.
Conference is a different thing because now you have to decide whether Memphis goes to the Eastern Conference or Minnesota goes. Reports from NBA insiders, from senior NBA insiders, from what I've read, are saying that the NBA is leaning for Minnesota to go to the Eastern Conference. Now,
the other one? The other one was
Memphis.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have also mentioned New Orleans. We were obviously talking about that earlier, but geographically, it doesn't make sense for New Orleans to go because if you look at the geographical map, when you put everything together, it doesn't line up. Even though they're technically the furthest east.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Minnesota, however, has the farthest travel distance to most of the Western Conference teams. There's 700 miles between Minnesota and Oklahoma City. Mind you, there's 240 miles from Memphis and from New Orleans to Oklahoma City. So obviously, you want to take the team that's farthest away from the Western Conference in regards to travel and push them over to the Eastern Conference, which is why it makes more sense for Minnesota to go. Now, if Minnesota goes to the Eastern Conference, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem because now you have to deal with Anthony Edwards in the Eastern Conference. And if Giannis goes, now you got Giannis who's staying in the East, just wearing different colors.
We love that though.
Yes,
I love that.
While it builds the competitiveness, that's scary.
Yeah, but it forces other teams to make moves too. Like that's what
exactly.
you want. Teams get so lax when they're in the easy, conference or division, whatever, that you want other teams to start building so the other little mouse can wake up.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, with the 2 expansion teams coming, obviously those teams won't be active until the 2028-2029 season. Because obviously they need to discuss who's going to be owning these teams. I am so happy that the Supersonics are coming back.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I have a close friend that he's a big Seattle fan, and he's always said he wanted this. I can't wait to talk to him about it. I didn't even know about that.
And I'm just like, but then there's an important question that comes with that. Whoever owns the Supersonics, do you take away the history from Oklahoma City and give it back? I think you should. Because Seattle won a championship in 1973. Not 73, I'm sorry. But in the 70s, my apologies. But they were from, I think it was 1964 up until 2007-8, when KD got drafted. That's all Supersonic history. I think you can easily split apart the two because now with Oklahoma City winning the championship and they're the defending champs, that's an easy amount of time that you can give. You can give back Seattle their history because it doesn't make sense for them to start over again.
It's a unique situation because they completely rebranded. Like other teams, they'll move to like a different state or a different city, but they'll keep the name of the team, like the San Diego Chargers or the LA Chargers.
Yeah, that's true.
And they kept the same colors and everything. But
you're talking about Seattle Supersonics to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you went from green and yellow to
blue and orange.
Exactly. So like it's a whole different team name and it's tough. It's tricky.
I do think that whoever owns the Supersonics should speak to the owners of the Oklahoma City Thunder and say, listen, I also think that it's very smart of the Oklahoma City Thunder to just give back that history.
But do Seattle fans even want that? You know what I mean?
I think you should. That's your history.
But do they want the ring I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's their ring. They won that. No, they don't take Oklahoma City's ring. That's them.
Oh, you're talking about the history before the
relocation. So from 2008. So when you look at the history of the team, it'll be 1960s to 2008.
Yeah.
And then brought back 2028, 2029.
100%. Yeah, that 100%. I didn't know you were saying that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't clear then.
No, 100%. Yeah, they should absolutely. I don't even think that should be a debate. Yeah, 100% they should get that.
And
that's right.
Obviously, with those teams, you have the expansion drafts.
Yeah.
Now, with the NBA changing the number of protected players from 11 to 8, you now have a lot of teams that are going to look different around that time.
Yeah.
Because if I'm New Orleans, I kind of would let Zion go. You've had issues with him.
Yeah, it's like a really interesting thing that's going. And when we were talking before we started here, like I like the Pelicans, bro. They have a lot of good talent. And like that does then bring up the question, like this team is not gonna look the same in like even a year or even 2 years from now. Like
Jeremiah Fears is great. Derek Queen is good.
Like Murray, man. The dude came back from ACL. Like these guys coming back from ACL tears, by the way. Dogs.
KD dog.
Yeah.
Just by himself.
This is crazy. But good player right there. Trey Murphy III, great player there. Zion, obviously. Again, DeJounte Murray. Right. It's just such a shame that it never panned out this year. But yeah, like that is one team I would look at also. Like that team's not gonna look the same. But with the expansion teams, I think you're gonna get a lot of like young talent that like is on benches of other teams, right? Like you don't get to see a lot of because you have stars on teams, right? And that's essentially what happens when you have expansions, right? Like the NHL is the same example. I think is when they added Vegas, like all of a sudden, bam, Vegas wins, right? Like it could be essentially one of those things, and you're gonna get players who, their numbers called up finally, and they start playing really well. And I wouldn't be surprised if these two teams do start out relatively decent when they get up and going again. But
one of my big questions is what happens to Oklahoma City? You can only protect 8.
And you just go pick up more.
So there goes Lou. There goes
you just
Lou
go
Dort.
draft them.
There goes Lou Dort. Because you're gonna have to give up Lou Dort, maybe Alex Caruso.
I don't think they really are upset with those
no, but there are the building blocks there to their defense. Those two players just by themselves, outside of Chet and everything else.
The way they've been trending though, I think they know how to draft. They know what they're looking for, and they know how to pick up pieces. I think they'll be all right.
I definitely see where you're coming from in that aspect, but like we keep harping on like Sam Presti being one of the best in the game, and essentially, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
if he keeps at least 12 of those
on his radar, right? I'm sure this is on his radar. Like, okay,
this is happening soon. How are we going to do it?
Yeah.
But then, if that's the case, then Oklahoma City is going to be the only team that's set up for success because they still have 17 picks between now and 2032.
By the way, I want to touch back on that. I didn't know this, but the Nets also have 16 first-round picks in the next 7 years.
Yo,
I'm gonna have to give a shout out real quick. One of my friends, Devin Cowell, he's big. He's a Nets fan since it was in New Jersey.
Same
right?
Hell yeah.
He always talks about it. And like the Nets, they did their thing. Right? I mean, their big brother, the Knicks, helped them a little bit here, but
can't argue with you.
Right? The Nets have a good future, right? And it might be built around MPJ. I know people have their feelings about
Listen, I've never had an issue with MPJ.
I like this as college,
bro. Shoot.
You first talked about Cam Thomas being on the Nets, and like, okay, this guy's the focal point, right? Now all of a sudden, Tom's not there. Right now we have MPJ, who is definitely stepped into a much larger role coming from Denver to the Nets. And then again, like you have young talent on that team. That
he also comes back from championship pedigree.
Right? Like they didn't play well, but you have young talent that played all year together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So like that definitely helps.
And I know we stopped on the topic too, but because of the draft capital, what stopped them from going for Giannis?
That would be another reason why.
Yeah.
Right? You now reinvigorate a market that is in New York. Yes, they're a little brother, but you now make it interesting.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've never had an issue with MPJ. Shooter's going to shoot. Keep shooting. And ironically enough, you touched on Cam Thomas. They waived him.
Yeah.
Milwaukee waived him. So
which is crazy.
He's a free agent.
Yeah.
But that just shows that, they don't want that, ball dominant point guard.
Yeah. Because
obviously it didn't work with Dame. You know why it worked? You know why they were able to win the championship in 2021? Because they had Drew Holiday as a point guard. A pass first point guard, a defensive oriented point guard. I mean, listen, there's a lot of things in the NBA that we got to talk about. Obviously, we'll touch more upon it, but we'll be right back after this.
You're tuned into the Game HQ podcast, your home for bold debates and the hottest takes in sports. Got input or a take of your own? Hit us up on X at the Game HQ Pod. And now back to the podcast.
And we're back, and let's talk about football, guys. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We got all these, free agency signings, trades that happened and then rescinded, which definitely we're going to start off this whole conversation with. Baltimore, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, man.
What did you do?
I get it, but I feel like it was just, why didn't you think about this before? Like, how did you not know that Trey Hendrickson was also going to be a good pickup without giving up your draft capital? Like, I get it because, like, if you're looking at it from outside before you agreed already with them, like, all right, cool. If we want Max Crosby, we got to give up draft capital. If we get Trey Hendrickson, we don't. We just got to pay him a lot. And it's like...
Now, for those of you who don't know, there was an original trade between Baltimore Ravens and the Las Vegas Raiders involving Max Crosby, their cornerstone defenseman. And deal was said and done. They were just pending a physical. And then all of a sudden, Baltimore put out a statement saying that they have stepped away from the trade with Max Crosby, obviously putting the entire league and all of its fans, including myself, in a state of, like, shock. Like, what are you doing? What happened? Obviously, it came to be known that Max did not do well in his physical. So that's the reason why they decided to rescind and go back on the trade. Obviously, this trade, in my opinion, if it would have gone through, would have helped Lamar Jackson's championship window just a little bit, just because, this would have been the best type of team that Lamar has had on the defensive end since he's been drafted. But, the fact that the Ravens just said, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. There's something in his physical that they didn't like. And the fact that they still went out and got Trey Hendrickson, which, by the way, how dare you, Cincinnati, for letting him go? That's a whole other issue. But for those of you who didn't know, that was the original setup.
So the issue was meniscus tear, which they already knew about since this last season. They knew that he got the surgery. They knew that it went well, that he's going to be back on time for the regular season. So it was nothing new. I think honestly, they just got buyer's remorse. That's what it was. That's what it came down to. They went into it. They shook on it. They agreed, and then afterwards, they looked at it from outside. They're like, we could have just gotten Trey Hendrickson. We could keep our picks, and that's exactly what went down.
This was almost like the Lakers trade when they traded for Mark Williams, and then they found the thing in Mark Williams's physical that they were just like, nah, we're not going to do this. But then it's also like the veto trade that the Lakers had with CP3. But that wasn't anything to do with the physical. It was just the fact that it was, anything of the sort. But, I can't even... I mean, there's a lot of... Outside of that, there were a lot of many other shockers. Like, Seattle. What are you doing? Like, forget the Baltimore Ravens at this point. Seattle. Why did you let your running back go? Your Super Bowl MVP. That man went, packed his bags, and says, I'm going to go to Arrowhead and play with Patrick Mahomes, who is injured, by the way. So like, what is going on in these teams' heads that they're just thinking that they can just allow these superstar players to go?
I could understand it to a certain point because in running backs now, you could honestly pick a sleeper like in the third or fourth round. Kenneth Walker was a second round pick that nobody was really paying attention to, and ended up being a Super Bowl MVP. You know what I'm saying? And he deserves the money he's getting paid. But
of course, absolutely.
I don't think Seattle's in a position where we talked about it, like they couldn't pay everybody, and I think
that's true.
I think they had to pay their shiny new toy, JSN, and
which kudos to you for that contract.
Yeah, that's a crazy contract and well deserved.
Big bag right there.
Yeah,
I think he's now the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history.
I believe so. Yeah, 100%.
From what I saw.
So I think Seattle came down to a choice: are we keeping our running back or wide receiver? And they went wide receiver, and I totally understand that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at it, essentially what it is, what you just said, Yard, with the running back situation in Seattle, right? Like, it still was not confirmed that Walker would be an outright running back. Yeah. Like, they were still doing nearly a 50-50 workload split in Seattle. So if we're talking about a Finals MVP, a Super Bowl MVP, I'm sorry, and you're still going to split the work, right? Like, if I'm that guy, I'm like, listen, I just won MVP. Like, I'm the reason why, right? I'm the reason why we won this. Mm-hmm. And this is what I want to get paid. You're not willing to pay me that, right? Like, it's a simple,
I'm going to go to a place that will give me one. Yeah.
Right. And that's essentially what they did, right? 3-year, 43 million with 28 million guaranteed. And as a running back, right, like, it's the same thing as we talk about Saquon Barkley. It's almost nearly the same situation where
that's true.
It's like, these guys are great, but like, they're also setting themselves up financially for a future, right? As a running back, you are susceptible to basically every injury, right? You're throwing your body on the field every Sunday or Monday or whatever day, and that you want your bag, you want that money, and it's crazy to see that now, right? Kenneth Walker is now in red, but
yeah,
it's great that you mentioned like Mahomes being injured, right? Like,
yeah,
Mahomes is out there throwing now.
Absolutely.
Already.
Yeah, he's throwing already?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There's a report came out that there's stuff coming out that he's back out there
he's
throwing.
Ready,
Kelsey's back, right?
Yes.
Kelsey signed a 3-year deal, $54 million.
I don't get that, to be honest. 3 years?
3 years, $54 million.
And if you can, if your wide receiver core can, follow simple laws, then you can have him out there playing this year.
Yeah.
So, like, the Chiefs might just unfortunately get back in it again.
But also for the Chiefs, you're also answering a running back problem that you had. Yes. You were splitting two.
Yes. Yeah.
You're splitting between Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. Now what you do is now you have a 3-man running back room. And now what do you do? I mean, obviously you can keep Kareem Hunt as your power back, like the guy who's your third down guy. But then now you have Isaiah Pacheco. Where do you leave him? I think Kareem Hunt's job is a little bit more safer than a Pacheco's is.
Well, Pacheco went to Lions.
Which is what I was talking about. I'm sorry. Which also plays into the fact that, now knowing that, Pacheco's like, I gotta go because I'm not gonna be able to touch this ball in any way, shape, or form. So with him now on the Lions, which pray for him, by the way.
Yeah, with Gibbs, that's insane.
Yeah,
with Jahmyr Gibbs, because Montgomery left
too. It's like a domino effect there, right? Like, we should get, like, when we get into it more, like, it's starting to look like that was a major domino effect.
Well, there's a lot of things that happened there too, because it's like players are realizing, hey, these new guys are coming in. I'm not touching the ball. I need to go somewhere that I can touch. Now, granted, it may not be the best. It may not be the best thing to do with Pacheco going to the Lions because you now have to split. Well, it's not going to be a 50-50. Jahmyr Gibbs is far superior in my position, my opinion.
He's the Lions' franchise running back.
He's their franchise running back. But, I mean, great on him to be able to get some touches there because Jared Goff, obviously, I think is a very fair quarterback. I think he really wants all of his teammates to, be able to touch the ball with no problem. But, the fact that, you have Montgomery now going to the Texans, right? And then him now playing with CJ Stroud. But also the thing is, too, is like, how good is that situation for Montgomery? Because you were the main man until Gibbs pretty much outshowed you because you were injured and he came in and ended up doing his thing. Now he's the Lions, franchise running back. Now you're going to a system where you have a very young quarterback at CJ Stroud. How do you how do you maneuver that? Hopefully he does really well because I think C.J. Stroud is great.
I think it comes down to that O-line, man. The O-line last season really messed up the Texans, and I don't know how Montgomery's going to. There's a lot of question marks in the Texans. It's just injuries last season too that happened, and it's like a trend for them every season. So I think the Texans are not in a good position right now. I think Montgomery got his bag though, so it's good for him, and he's going to be the main guy. But it's all a question of how that O-line performs and how they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you also have big names that are moving as well, like moving teams. Like you have Tua going to Atlanta. You have,
which makes, I mean, in my opinion, makes no sense.
I don't know how that's going to work out. I genuinely don't know.
The Dolphins just like threw away.
I think they're paying like $170 million of that money.
They are on the hook for $99 million over the next 2 years.
Oh, my God,
and for players that aren't paying for them, right?
No, for Tua.
Oh, for Tua?
Just Tua by himself. The Dolphins are on
this guy. Like, that's
the hook
actually insane.
For an NFL record, $99 million over the next 2 years.
Is it better to let him go at that point? I don't even.
Yeah, because you basically lost all faith in him.
Yeah, I mean, like,
but he's also concussion proof.
I know.
So it's like
they had to have like.
And listen, I do not think, I don't think that the Dolphins want to get into that realm of the Bills with the Damar Hamlin situation. They don't want to be a part of a situation like that.
But they already are. They didn't handle it right. He got laid out and was thrown up like.
Yeah, he got laid out. The man looked like he was like.
And then he was back the next game. Like he didn't give him a week, and he got concussed again. Like I think that was mishandled. Honestly.
And then that's why McDaniels got fired.
Yeah. Because
it's it's the incompetence of these teams. I mean, obviously, a lot of people, I think including yourself, Yarick, that felt like he was taken too high, but it's just like you ruined this kid's growth. Like you drafted him when you had Kirk Cousins. You just said it, and then you trade away Kirk Cousins, or you let him walk, whatever the case was. Now you give him the keys to the kingdom, and then now all of a sudden you're bringing in Tua, and now you're going to make these two duke it out just because you want to have a lefty quarterback room. It doesn't make any sense. But what also doesn't make sense also is that Kyler is now in Minnesota. And it's like, what are you trying to do to JJ?
Yeah, I think honestly,
what's happening here?
I feel bad for that kid. I think JJ McCarthy, I think they're done with him, to be honest. I think the way Jetta's handled it, like you could, like I know he was trying his best not to throw him under the bus, but he was like, this guy's trash, like without saying it. You know what I mean? And
it's hard because JJ went to LSU.
Yeah.
and Jetta's is from LSU.
Yeah.
So it's like he's trying not to make his his alma mater look bad because of the JJ's not doing the right thing. Yeah. But the kid got hurt his first year, didn't play his whole year, and then you expected him to, within 3 weeks of training camp, expect him to be up to speed in like 100%.
I get Jetta's just because he's that guy. You know what I mean?
Is.
All he needs is he's waiting for somebody to just be like, hey, I'm here. Just throw it to me, and he's not been able to get that. You know what I mean?
But then if that's the case, leave.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, 100%.
In this case, leave because obviously the next kind of like example I could think of is Mike Evans went to San Fran. Like,
oh yeah, I like that pick, by the way. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The whole team is injured prone, but
they just gotta find like a new practice facility over there.
Yeah. They just need to not play where they're playing.
Whatever's going on over there, they just need to take that whole area and just move it.
And why is the Shanahan is like always been graced by God with good players?
He just can't finish.
He just can't finish. Yeah. Can't cross the line.
It's
like they got the yips.
Well, one team I do want to talk about, and we talked briefly while you stepped away, is the Giants.
100%.
I'm very excited. I mean, I feel like I say this every year, unfortunately, but this year specifically, though, I think it's going to be cool to see what is the possibility for the Giants, a franchise that has obviously been struggling for years now, ever since the Eli Manning days. But, we get our guys back. We get Cam, we get Neighbors, we get Dart nice in there, and then we have the number 5th pick, like number 5.
Yeah,
definitely.
That we can do whatever we want with that. Trade down or get Caleb Downs.
If you guys got Caleb Downs, Jesus Christ.
Just need to if we can improve a little bit more on like the defense, but like if we can get some scoring going, man, like the offense just get it going.
I mean, we had it going last year. I think.
Yeah,
I think our defense
injuries really just hurt.
But I will say though, Jackson Dart is going to do fantastic under Harbaugh.
I think so too.
Yeah, the coach like the
Harborough is the Harborough brothers are a young quarterback coach.
the moves that the Giants are making, I'm actually pleased with. I think that this is going to be a good season to watch. I'm not expecting, right? We can't expect them to be playing in February, but it's just good to it'd be good to go watch a game.
But I think that is the ceiling, though. I think the ceiling is playoffs.
You pay for a ticket and you actually enjoy going to go watch the Giants play.
And the fans deserve it, man.
Nobody's watching the Jets this year, but the Giants is the New York team to watch this year.
100%.
I don't know. The Jets picked up a lot of good players. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, but who's throwing?
That's true.
Geno Smith?
I'm gonna go out there and throw.
Which, by the way, but that's another thing too. The fact that the Raiders let go of Geno.
Yeah.
And now he's back with the
I
Jets.
was just saying he's back with the Jets, right?
I don't think he's happy about it. I don't think he's
Well, because he knows what's happening. The Mendoza show, baby, is coming.
And the fans are abusing him. All the Jets fans.
I think that's what the Jets fans want. They want Mendoza, right? Like they want him.
The Jets can't get him.
No, they can't. Yeah.
The Raiders are gonna get him.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, crazy.
Raiders got the number one pick. They're gonna go get him.
The Jets just keep missing out on their guy. They just keep missing out, man.
The Jets just can't tank properly.
No.
They just can't get it right. But
I mean, listen, I'm a Cowboys fan. The fact that we just got a D lineman, I'm happy.
Yes.
Because
we have the Cowboys offered apparently 3 different offers for Crosby.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they just did not accept them.
Jerry was like, "Yeah, I'll give you the kitchen sink."
Yeah, and they're like, "Nah."
They're like, "No."
Now do you look at it? And
now you look like Baltimore. I mean, Las Vegas. You are done.
Yeah.
And they picked up a lot. Like the Raiders picked up a lot of people with anticipation that this trade would be good. Now what do? Now you gotta look at the drawing board. Like, okay, you
also just ruined that relationship.
Yes.
Because Max is going to go to Max.
He's very upset.
Max is probably fuming.
Yep.
Because he's like, why am I back here?
He went on his podcast and he explained it. Like he was not happy with he's like, I feel great. Like
I think I saw a clip of that too. He was saying like, I feel like I'm feeling good. Like I'm good to go. Like I'm ready to go. And then this thing happens. He's probably fuming. If I was him, I'd be like, yo, what?
Yeah.
Like I could play with an actual quarterback, even though he too also has the yips. Because he can't do anything in crunch time either.
Yeah, but I think not having a defense to lean on a little bit would have definitely changed a lot for Lamar Jackson. Which it can still happen because Trey Henderson, like we're talking about him like he's a bum. Like he's not. He's a monster
in any way, shape, or form. He is not. Yeah. But it's like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that we have to keep an eye on when it comes to the NFL because one piece is all it takes, and it's one of the rare sports in the world that all you need is just that one player.
This year's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be.
I think the Pats aren't gonna make it out this year.
I think I want to touch base, go back a little bit to that domino effect I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I was busy watching Brandon Lowe see if he could get a third home run, so I totally missed that a little bit there.
I don't know about all that, man.
But like also, you're like Joe Mixon is still on the Texans. Right?
Oh yeah,
like
he was injured. They shut him down for the whole.
We're looking at another split backfield situation with Montgomery, which he seems to thrive in.
Yeah,
so I'm not saying like he's gonna be like a superstar again, like how it worked with Jahmyr Gibbs, but like he's back in the same type of atmosphere and like.
Well, he's in the Gibbs role now.
Yes,
because Mixon's coming off the injury.
So I think it would be good to see like how he goes, but like I think Montgomery should thrive down there. But it's the guy behind the helm. It always is the guy behind the helm.
But we know who's going to win this year. We already know.
Don't you dare.
Yes, I am.
Don't you dare say it.
What are you about to say?
You know he's gonna say what they always say every year.
Put it in the universe right now.
How about them Cowboys? No, I'm kidding. Definitely not.
That's crazy. They're not even gonna make the playoffs.
Thank God they didn't get Crosby. That would have been
no, we got
that would have been so scary.
Completely different conversation than if they.
I would have actually been like, all right, maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Well, let's see what the Eagles do because the Eagles are face planted this year.
I think I heard. I'm not worried about that.
And they're just like.
He
can't do the tush push no more.
Exactly. I don't
He's
I'm always worried about Hurts, bro.
He's not a good throwing quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's
He's a good football player.
On it.
Great football player.
He's what you call a scheme quarterback.
Yeah.
He just works for what Philly's working with, right? Like, and that's just good coaching in a sense, right? Like, they bring him in and say, "Listen, you're gonna do what I tell you to do."
Well, that's also Sirianni. You got
when it's crunch time, bro. Like you've seen it, like the games we watched last year, and especially against the Cowboys too. Like that.
Exactly.
One game,
I'm just like, wait a minute. Why are you not?
You get a 3-score lead, and then your defense starts to crumble, but then you don't score.
Because
in the
they don't
second
trust
half.
him to throw the ball.
Yeah, like you don't score anything.
That's why AJ Brown was like,
do that.
I'm out, peace.
Yeah, and you
I think he's
can't
going to
do
the
that.
Pats.
You think so?
Yeah, he's out.
Oh no, he's out for sure.
Gone.
I mean,
For
Diggs is
sure.
going to jail
Yeah,
because I don't think he's beating those allegations.
yeah, and I agree. I think someone said the Pats aren't going to go for it. I'm
Yeah,
still
I think
saying
they're
that. I
waiting
think I
for
said
it.
that.
Doesn't matter.
It's a bad
Whatever
day
team,
for that.
whatever team picks up AJ Brown is going to get a rejuvenated AJ Brown. He's going to want to play,
Giants.
and he's going to.
Giants.
I would.
You think
call
he
it
pulls?
out.
You think he pulls? You think he
No,
pulls the
I think
reverse
there's
Saquon?
something in this world.
My mind.
I think there's something in this world that all of a sudden we, maybe
It becomes an idea.
Time around.
Hold on.
AJ Brown to the
Neighbors,
Giants.
AJ Brown, Darnell Mooney, Slayton, Likely, and
Getting the passes thrown to them by Jackson Dart under John Harbaugh.
And you got Tyrone Tracy, who's like a little what's that? Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, with
Like,
Cam Scatterboot coming back.
I know Giants haters are like not liking what I'm saying, but I am telling you, if
calm.
that happens, I will be saying crazy things in September, bro.
That's
I will
my
be saying
bold.
crazy things.
That's like my bold
Prediction.
If
That
I'm
he
going to
goes
ever
to the
put something
Giants?
out in the universe, AJ Brown to the Giants. He's going to be in the Giants uniform this year.
Make your prayers now, Giants haters, because I will be saying crazy things on this podcast if we get AJ Brown.
Well,
Yeah,
a lot of
that'd
things
be
to say
wild.
just in general. I mean, we'll obviously talk more about it in the upcoming weeks. I mean, we have a lot more stuff. It's
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming.
a lot of
There's a lot
stuff
this
coming.
week, yeah, there's a lot.
We'll be right back after this.
Introducing the Game HQ podcast, one of the newest shows on every major platform, bringing you some of the freshest takes in all of sports. Stay locked in, and now back to the podcast.
And we're back. Obviously now we got to talk about the most important thing because yesterday was opening day. We're going to talk about some baseball. Before we hop into the MLB itself, we want to talk a little bit on the World Baseball Classic. Let's clap it up for Venezuela.
Absolutely, 100%.
Shout
Shout out Los Chamos.
You guys did your thing. You beat 2 out of the 3 favorites for the entire tournament, beating Japan and the United States to win the whole thing. I think this is the first time Venezuela has won the Baseball Classic. So congratulations to you guys. You guys really did your thing. Obviously, Dominican Republic, to all my Dominicans who feel like you guys were robbed in that game against the United States, yes and no. Yes, because in my opinion, that last pitch that Mason Miller threw, even though, you're going to tell me statistics, it was a ball. It was called a strike.
It was framed beautifully.
I mean, listen, and Mason Miller is probably one of the best, probably if not the best.
How many umpires are getting that call right? Not many.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's a strike. It was framed perfectly. That's part of the game. Framing is part of the game. Maybe with the ABS challenge stuff, that might change, but I think it is a part of the game. I think it was framed perfectly. It was a good pitch. And you can't get mad at one call because they had their innings where they had players on base in front of the score position and they did not execute it. Yeah,
no, I agree with you. I think it's just, especially with the ABS thing. Now, obviously, when the next World Baseball Classic pops up again, the ABS will be in full effect.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll make the tournament a lot more enjoyable to watch because stuff like that could be the end-all, be-all of a game or even the tournament rankings when it comes to group play. But, hey, I mean, again, congratulations to Venezuela.
100%.
You guys did your thing. I'm very disappointed in Aaron Judge.
I think everybody is.
And I'm not saying that as a Mets fan. I'm saying that just as a baseball fan.
I don't know what his problem is, man. Like, in these big situations, like, you expect...
Well, Schwarber, too.
Yeah.
Schwarber's not out of the woodwork.
No, but we're talking about someone that you're deeming Captain America. Right,
which, by the way,
you're giving him such a crazy title. Like, I need you to step up and be that guy. And as a Yankees fan, like, we're
used to it.
We're used to it. Like, this is no different. Like, granted, great fielding. Stellar fielding.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, also, don't get me wrong. I said this earlier when Yarick and I were talking about it. Like, I think Bobby Witt Jr. was probably like the X factor of Team USA. Just because he's just a stellar arm in the infield, and I just think he did great. But yes, I will not knock Aaron Judge.
I don't think we beat the Dominican Republic without Aaron Judge putting the fear of God in them after that throw to take Tatis out. Like, he did run after that.
He didn't, and I will say this though: it is disrespectful to call Aaron Judge, Captain America, because there's only one Captain America, and that's David Wright.
That's debatable.
It's not debatable. It's legit.
Yeah.
David Wright, whenever it was time to come up and step up, David Wright did it. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, Judge,
and I'm not saying that as a Met fan. I'm saying that because that
Judge
is what
hasn't done anything to.
And Judge has not done it. He doesn't deserve that name.
Yeah, I mean, like if we're looking at stats, like he had a lukewarm batting at 222, right?
What?
6 hits, 2 home runs. Like not out of the like trash, right? Like we
No,
just
absolutely not. But you just won American League MVP.
We need you to step up, right? And it's like not even from a world class. Like it's from like a Yankee fan base.
Yeah,
like, come on, man. Like it's the same stuff every year, right? You're a seasoned warrior, and then like when the lights are really bright, you're just not there.
That's Aaron Boone's fault.
Yeah,
he sets him up to fail. He's been your guys' Achilles heel this entire time.
So I'm gonna tie it into like yesterday because it was opening day as well. But Aaron Judge's last 10 at bats with the WBC is 4 straight strikeouts, a ground out, 3 more strikeouts, a fly out, and a strikeout. Jesus. He went 0 for 4 last night. 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts.
And and no offense, Logan Webb looked great yesterday.
Yeah.
And Logan Webb, who did great for us.
Speaking of strikeouts, like he had the most strikeouts out of this first page. I think there's like 20 people on this first page of the list I'm looking at. He had the most strikeouts.
Yikes.
So ugly. Like, I thought he fixed that problem, and he probably did in the regular season, but
I don't know.
In playoffs, or
but this is the most important time. Like obviously outside of the playoffs, I understand it completely. But you're talking about the World Baseball Classic. You're representing the United States. You're not representing the Yankees. Yeah. You're representing America, and you can't. I mean,
maybe stop putting yourself in this position if you can't handle it.
I don't know, man. He's one of the best players in the league.
100%. But you know that you haven't showed up when you need to. Like,
I mean, maybe it makes sense why Juan Soto said that the Dominican Republic was the best team in the tournament, because it was like we lost on a technicality. But no offense.
That was one of the greatest.
But no offense to Juan. I love you. You're part of my New York Mets, but you guys had multiple opportunities to blow that lead wide open, and you didn't. And you only scored 1 run. Yeah. And the game ended 2-1 on a Mason Miller. And no offense, you're not going to hit Mason Miller. Mason Miller's a sub-25-year-old who can throw, triple digits. Like, it's not going to happen. Yeah. So, obviously, there's a lot of things that could have gone wrong with it. I do think the ABS system that's been implemented this year could have gone really well for the WBC. I hope next WBC they do that. But, all right, so let's talk about opening day. Yesterday the Yankees, in my opinion, kicked the absolute dog shit out of the Giants, 7-0. Obviously, seemed like everybody showed up.
Free master class, except for Judge.
Which seems to be a running issue with him. 4 strikeouts from when I stopped watching the game. Obviously, he was 0 for 5. But, I don't understand. Like, you're one of the greatest players in the league right now. And you can't even seem. I mean, but don't get me wrong. Like, we're obviously going to talk about today's opening game that obviously is still going on right now with the Mets and the Pirates, and Paul Skeens, who was the pitcher for the Dominican Republic, and the Mets right now basically shut him out, and right now X is going ballistic that the Pirates had pulled him in the first inning, and it's just what is happening? Like, how are these star players getting the yips?
I mean, it's just
opening day now.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure they'll get informed. Like Judge will do it, but as a Yankees fan, I think you almost want Judge to not have like another record-breaking season, and you kind of want him to just have an average season, and just maybe that's what he needs to be able to pull up in the playoffs.
I just don't think he's had enough adversity.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe when things are going so good for him all season, that when he goes to the playoffs, he's just not used to like being challenged. I don't know.
It's just insane. I mean, obviously, with yesterday being the first day of opening day, and obviously today, being the second, with the Dodgers playing later on tonight against the Diamondbacks, which I think is a great matchup just by itself. A lot of teams, a lot of new faces and new places, and it's just like, we obviously want all of our teams to do well. Like, I know Yarick and Alex, you guys are Yankees fans. I'm a Mets fan. Eric's a Mets fan. Cody's a Phillies fan, which is weird. Half their team is out on peds using steroids. But it's just like, when we want our players to step up, they need to step up. Like, we're currently watching this game right now, the Mets and the Pirates, and Mets are up 9-4. And since putting Skeens out of the first inning, it has been nothing but singles, hard at bats for the Pirates. I think the Pirates by now have already, gone to their bullpen, 4 times. Like we just saw Luis Robert running his ass off to first base and he made it. Like, the bases are loaded. It's the bottom of the 5th. It's like, like you have all these things happening and it's just obviously you want your team to continue these types of play. Obviously for the Yankees with yesterday, while you guys did have a great outing in regard to the game in total, you obviously want to see more from your captain. Obviously, with the Mets, Steve Cohen has already stated that while he owns the Mets, there will be no captain, which I think is a great thing because, you have to hold everybody accountable. You can't just hold one person accountable, even though, and obviously you're going to have the players like Lindor and Soto. They're going to be like, this is my fault. Yeah, I got it. But it's like creating that type of culture and saying that this is our team and not just one person's team, I think is going to be a great building block for everybody. And hopefully for all the teams that's going on, throughout the league, hopefully they have the same aspirations. Obviously the Athletics are still in that process of transitioning over into moving to Las Vegas. Las Vegas, this is going to be the year of Las Vegas. The next 3 years are going to be the years of Las Vegas. They're getting so many teams that it's like not even funny. And I guess it just all depends on how this season goes. We obviously saw the first recorded ABS challenge in yesterday's game with the Yankees. There's a huge idea that I think will help the game because obviously last year a lot of the big problems were with calls from the home plate umpire. Not saying, obviously it's human error. You can't really blame them. They also have one of the hardest jobs. They're trying to dictate whether a ball coming between 79 miles an hour and 104 or 5, depending if you're Aroldis Chapman or Mason Miller, or even Ben Joyce, I'm sorry. You're trying to dictate where that placement is. And I think for any person, it'd be hard for us to do it. And we all wear glasses.
Yeah.
So.
And we all love to pile on the refs when we make mistakes.
Of course, because we're just like, how can you make that type of mistake?
Yeah.
But, hey, this is the beginning of the year. The Dodgers are, as of tonight, will be defending their championship, their back-to-back World Series championship. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, they looked really good in spring training, especially obviously when the team was all back after losing to Venezuela, the Japanese team. So all their players are back. The fact that the Dodgers have 6 starters is atrocious. And they moved Roki. They moved Roki to setup man, which I think is insane. Even though Roki had a very bad going out in his last start, did not do well. I think it was like 30 pitches in the first inning, and they pulled him, and he was just like, yeah. But it's okay. He's only 25. Like, he's going to be fine. But, hey,
I mean, it's interesting, the guys I'm watching this Mets game, right? Like, was it a good idea to even pull Skeens, right? Like, because, like, if you're looking at, you're pulling Skeens, right? It's 5-2 when you pulled him, I think, right? Was it 5-2?
I forgot.
It was 5-2. Yeah, it was 5-2.
I think I'm pretty sure it's 5-2.
At 37.
The Pirates started first. Yeah.
In reality, like, if he can get himself to settle in to the second inning, right? It's a 5-4 game.
Yeah.
Now it's
9-4.
Yeah. Like, we literally watched this man. They did a close-up shot on Skeens as he was like in the dugout and he was drinking water, and he looked pissed.
Yeah.
He was like, "How can you take me out of
like,
this?"
You know who I am. You know what I can do. Yeah.
Like, and granted, 37 pitches is a lot in the first inning, but it's Paul Skeens.
Now you're in your bullpen in early innings. Like, you have a game to go still.
And you still have 2 more games.
You're about to
in
pull
Citi
another
Field.
guy. Like, they're about to put another guy in there.
Yeah,
right?
It's going to be the 6th guy.
I think that decision to pull him was a little bit too early just now.
And you're going through your bullpen for day one.
And then, like I just said, you still have 2 more games in Citi Field. Like, and you think that after today they're gonna the Mets fans, including myself, is gonna be light on you? Yo, we just put away your best pitcher, who is the best pitcher in baseball.
They're gonna be yapping.
Like, we will yap, and we will continue to yap. We will make it known that you guys pulled Paul Skeens after 1 inning because he couldn't handle it. Well, what you think he couldn't handle it. I do agree with you, Alex. I do think that Skeens should have at least gotten to the second inning to redeem himself.
Yeah, this was 2-3. You get the pitch count up there a little bit.
And they had 2 outs at the time they pulled him, so it's like you could have just let him finish out the inning.
You gotta let him finish the inning there. Like, that's your ace, man.
Yeah,
like, you don't let him finish it like that.
It's like a confidence thing. You just killing with him right away. Like, you don't believe in me to get out of this. And you know what he's capable of, so I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a bad decision. But,
unfortunately, we don't have much to talk about in regards to the MLB because literally today is the second day of opening day.
Day one.
We're obviously going to just jump quickly through the MLS. Not really, we're not talking much about it either. Just basically going to, shout out to Nashville, LAFC, and San Diego for still being the remaining 3 teams that are undefeated. Yeah. You guys are doing great. Just wanted to highlight that just to go before we move on to the next talking point. Obviously, we're going to talk about March Madness. The Sweet 16 is up. A lot of top teams, a lot of fan favorites got kicked out early.
Yeah.
We're talking about Kansas, Houston, Gonzaga.
Duke also had a scare in that first game.
Yeah, Duke. Yeah. I don't know. Duke. I hope that game scares the ever living shit out of Duke. That they just never let that happen again. Because it's just so many things that it's just like. I mean, obviously, shout out to St. John's.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I like the local teams.
Hey, listen, local teams need to do well, especially when it comes to March Madness.
I mean, I think St. John's is gonna get blown out in this game. I think Duke is Duke. I think you're right. Like Duke, after that game, probably went in that locker room, had quite a conversation.
Cam Boozer better be like, "Yo, we better not. This better not happen."
Yeah, I mean, they came out against TCU and dismantled them, 81-58, right in the second round. Now we got Duke, St. John's. I'm not surprised about Kansas. I don't think a lot of people that would
I wasn't surprised about that either.
They're going to listen to this episode and say like, "Oh, Kansas, this." No, I don't. I was not surprised. Like they really let that game slip away.
And Florida lost too.
Yeah, the Florida one though. That one's an interesting one.
That was kind of like a well. I mean, I when it came to Texas and Gonzaga, I had a feeling Texas was going to win. I just think on paper Texas is a much far superior team, but. And I say far superior, speaking as though like they're stars, like compared to the stars. When you compare stars to stars, Texas, in my opinion, had a lot better opportunity of beating Gonzaga than most of the other underdog teams that won.
Couple games today, huh?
Yeah, I mean, what are we looking at? What's
Texas and Purdue today at 7, and then Arizona and Arkansas at 9:45.
Oof.
I think Texas is going to upset.
Yeah,
I think Texas is going to.
They're going to do it twice, 2 rounds in a row.
Texas is good. Yeah. Texas has got that swagger.
I watched that Purdue game.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Texas. So like the reverse of what you're about to say. Like I watched Texas and they look good, man. Like they look like they got it. Like they just knocked off the number 3.
They look like they've been there before.
Yeah.
Like I saw the Purdue game. They were kind of like struggling at the end of theirs, but
knock off Gonzaga 3. Go. I think this is the making of an upset. I think we see Texas upset them here.
And that's just today's docket, right? It's Arizona and Arkansas, you said?
Arizona,
Southern Arkansas or Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Yeah.
I think Arizona.
Wait, is Calipari even in the tournament this year?
No idea.
Not that I know.
We also have Iowa, Nebraska at 7:30.
Iowa was great.
Yeah.
In that last game.
And then Illinois.
I didn't even look at that.
All right, so here we go. Illinois-Houston game. Here tonight at 10 o'clock. Like that's gonna be a good game right there. 2 and a 3.
Yeah. And tomorrow, Michigan, Alabama.
Some great games here, right? Like some great games.
I mean, listen, March Madness is always crazy. You never know what's going to happen. It's almost like the play-in tournament. Oh, I think they hit another home run, guys. There you go. Is that O'Hearn?
Yeah, O'Hearn just hit a home run.
O'Hearn right off of Tobias Myers. Well, there you go. Score now is 9-5.
They just know how to score home runs when there's nobody on base.
This would be a tie game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It would be a tie game.
Potentially is a tie game, right? Like. But anyways,
Mets are still leading 9-5.
One game I would love to highlight is going to be this Michigan State versus UConn game tomorrow, 9:45.
Those coaches, just the coaches alone,
even the fans too, though.
Just the coaches alone.
It's going to be a good game.
They are going to go. They're going to be screaming at each other the entire game. It's going to be great. I can't wait. I mean, listen, don't knock off Michigan State. They're good, bro. Sparks are good. Definitely cannot complain.
Who do we think is winning now that we've seen a lot of games play, right? We're in Sweet 16 here.
Okay, do an obvious and then do a dark horse.
I mean, my obvious one, I'm gonna stick with Duke.
I
think I agree with you.
Duke is right there.
I don't know. I think UConn has a chip on their shoulder from losing.
But like the obvious one.
Yeah, the straight up obvious would be Duke.
Like if we're
with UConn, maybe in my opinion, being the close second.
And then,
but I would say dark horse.
Michigan
was good.
I got Texas, bro.
Yo,
that's great.
That's what I like to hear.
I got Texas, bro. I think I got
the whole thing.
Dark horse. I think they got it. Dude, you just had to have watched them when they played Gonzaga, bro.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
They made Gonzaga look like children.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long shot, right? It's 11 seed. It's a long shot, but like
it's either Texas or Iowa. Now Iowa is a very interesting case because when I saw them play their last game, I was like, where did this Iowa team come from? Because they were not playing that way fully the entire year.
Yeah.
So it's like now, I don't know, but those are my dark horses. But Texas, in my opinion, will probably be the team that I think who at the lower seed has the farthest way to go.
That would be like my fairy tale pick. If we were picking fairy tale, I think that Texas.
What would that final look like?
It would have to be Texas. It would essentially, I think, be Texas versus.
Is Duke on the other side of the bracket?
Yeah, Duke is on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, so it would be Texas and Duke.
That'd be sick.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough game. But Texas would also have to get through probably Arizona here, and Arizona is good.
You know what this shows me though?
It's very good.
It makes. I know it should be easier that Duke is playing like lower seeded teams, but it's making it harder. They're playing with.
Yeah, they're not realizing that they have no ups. They're not an upset team.
Yeah,
they're the favorites going into every game.
You're going against teams that have nothing to lose, and that is the most.
You never want to face. And you have everything to lose.
Yep.
Facts.
And the fact that nobody on that Duke team is going number 1 in the league this year is going to be insane. But you know what, guys? We have, like I said, incredible things that we got to talk about coming up in the next couple of episodes. I want to thank you all on behalf of me, Yarick, and Alex. We hope to see you all in episode 3, and we will catch you all later. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.